everyone, welcome back to Legalese Translator. My name is Heather Hoytman, and joining me here in this video is Heather Douglas. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
So this is the third video in a series of videos on discoveries. In this video, I'm going to ask Heather to give us some tips on how to prepare for discoveries. So first, Heather, if you were the person doing the questioning, can you give us some tips as to how to conduct your discoveries efficiently?
Yeah, so the first important tip is to prepare for the discovery. So how do you prepare?
Right.
The easiest way to start is to go through your affidavit of documents and also the affidavit of documents you received from the other side. Make sure you have all the documents that you need to prepare for your discovery. Then the next thing is to read those documents and to look for questions that kind of pop up from the documents. And when you're reading them, you're looking for issues that are relevant. So what makes something relevant? It's your pleadings. The issues that are raised in your pleadings are what governs the scope of the discovery. So if you are in a car accident case and someone gets hurt and they're claiming a loss of income, then you're going to want to make sure that you have documents relating to loss of income. And let's say you don't have any, then at the discovery, you would ask the other side to provide you with those documents. So those would be questions that you would have. What were you earning before? What were you doing before your accident? How much are you earning now? Why is there a change? And then another thing to keep in mind is that you can make a list of your questions beforehand. And you don't have to stick to it verbatim. It doesn't have to be an exact script for you, but it will give you a structure for your questions.
Now, what about if you're the questionee, or I guess the proper word is deponent, I guess. What if you're the one questioned? Can you give us some tips as to how to handle yourself? Because, I mean, people tend to get very nervous about being questioned.
Yeah, it is actually a very scary process. The first thing to keep in mind is to keep your composure. Stay calm. Answer the questions that you're asked. Answer them concisely. Also, try to answer everything you're asked unless your lawyer says otherwise, or if you are self-represented, unless it's completely irrelevant, has nothing to do with the case. Otherwise, you're going to look very evasive and dodgy and like you're trying to hide something. And maybe there's really nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Another thing for a deponent to prepare for the questioning is to make sure that you've reviewed all the affidavit of documents and that you know the case and you know the information that has been exchanged between the parties. So it's important that even if you're not the one questioning, that you have a very strong grasp of the file.
Now, what happens if the other side gets a little bit, what's the word, uncivil? What can you do?
The best thing is to try to stay civil yourself.
Okay.
I have heard of discoveries ending early or abruptly because of civility issues, but the best way to get through it is to stay calm.
Oh, wow. So you're saying that if it's really irrelevant, you could just say, I refuse to answer that question, if you feel that it's relevant, right?
If it's completely irrelevant, like let's say you're in a lawsuit about a contract that you signed and that was breached, and then someone asks you, like, what color of car do you drive? And there's nothing in the case that has anything to do with a car. Like there's no issue about any car at all. Then that's irrelevant. Like, what does it matter? It has nothing to do with the case. What makes something relevant is if it hits on a material issue. So material issue is something that has to be proven that makes the case more or less likely to have occurred. So an easy way to think about it is, let's say you're suing for breach of contract and you're having questions about the contract. Then the questions are supposed to be aimed at trying to prove or disprove the issues between the parties. So if it has nothing to do with the issues between the parties and it doesn't make a fact more or less probable, then it's probably not considered relevant to the proceeding. But in discovery, relevance is very broad, so it ends up capturing a lot of information.
So this is really good because I think that some people feel that when they're in the deponent's chair, that they really feel a sense of loss of control. And so I'm glad that you reassured us that if it really gets really uncivil, that you are allowed to end the session. Well, okay, so
I mean, I would recommend that you take a break.
Yes.
Before you go to an abrupt. That's a very, very, very strong remedy. So I wouldn't use that
Right.
just all the time. That's a very extreme circumstance.
Right.
Most part, you should take a break or collect your composure and resume.
Oh, that sounds, that is that makes a lot of sense, because if either yourself or the other party, if they're self-rep, or if the other lawyer is starting to get a little bit emotional, I guess you could always just say, hey, let's take a break and maybe just go off record, and maybe you could sort out a few things so that you could move on and focus on the issues. And so yeah, that is a great tip. Okay, so thanks, Heather, for this important lesson today on how to prepare for discoveries. So to our viewers, thanks very much for watching. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified of our upcoming videos. And we hope to see you at our next video. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.